Hi everyone, my name is Terry Westwell and today is Tuesday, which means it's time to discuss our book of the week, which is Til Death by Busayo Matuluko. Sorry, I hope I pronounced that right. First, this is a spoiler-free section, so if you haven't read this book yet, don't worry about it, it won't be spoiled for you here. There will be some spoiler-related things that I want to discuss, but that'll be later on in the video and you will get plenty of warning. If you'd like to join in on any of the discussions, send me your thoughts, comments, or even a short video clip of you discussing the book, then I'll list the next upcoming 4 books in the description below. So I've had this book on my shelf now for a while. I was originally intrigued by the cover and what little I knew about the premise. Overall, I did really enjoy it, however, it didn't blow me away. The writing was really easy to read and I liked the representation of culture and the awareness of sickle cell. I think it really added depth to the story. The ending was satisfying and clever and it had me guessing the whole way through, which I did really appreciate. However, sometimes I struggle to stay focused and I think that that's because of the sheer number of characters and it made it hard to keep track of everyone sometimes. Okay, so quick summary. Til Death follows Lara, who is a true crime enthusiast. She's with her family to attend her cousin's wedding. She expects glitzy parties, dress fittings, and family fun. However, she discovers a web of secrets, threats, and danger surrounding the event. As Lara investigates, she discovers malicious crimes and near-death experiences that could tear the family apart. The book blends mystery, thriller, and suspense, with enough twists to keep the reader guessing until the very end. I rated this book 3.25 stars. If I had to compare this to any other book, I would probably say that it shares some similarities with A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson or The Bandit Queens by Perini Schroff. Like these books, it balances suspense, secrets, and mystery and keeps the reader guessing. However, unlike some tightly plotted thrillers, Til Death has a larger number of characters, which creates this sprawling narrative that can be a little bit overwhelming at times. I think that Lara is a really interesting protagonist. She's smart, curious, and has this passion for true crime, and although she has this thrill for solving mysteries, her motivations still feel really genuine. I also really liked the fact that the story highlighted her cultural background, as well as included awareness for sickle cell. The pacing was uneven though, and while the mystery did keep me engaged, there were sections that I felt like dragged, and in part I think that was because of the multitude of characters. I personally prefer stories with a smaller cast, especially when it comes to thriller. I feel like it adds to the tension and makes it a lot easier to follow the narrative, whereas books like Til Death, where there's a lot of characters, I feel like sometimes it can dilute that tension and can make it hard to stay fully immersed into the story. Despite this though, I do think that the book succeeds at building suspense and curiosity. The hints that you get throughout, as well as Lara's investigation, definitely kept me guessing at the culprit and the outcome, and when the ending does finally hit, as I said, I thought it was quite satisfying. So, as for the question, would I recommend the book? I would recommend Til Death to readers who enjoy a light to moderate thriller with a cultural background and a big twist ending. I mean, if you're looking for a fast-paced, tightly plotted thriller with a small number of characters, then this one probably isn't going to be for you. However, if you enjoy unravelling secrets and family drama and stories that have a representation of culture, then this one is worth a read. So will I be reading any more by Busayo Matuluko? I wouldn't say no, because while this book didn't blow me away, I did still really enjoy it. However, I don't think I'll be going out of my way to hunt down books by this author anytime soon. So earlier in the video, I said that you would get plenty of warning for any upcoming spoilers. This is that moment, so if you haven't read this book yet, I would suggest going doing that first, because beyond this point there will absolutely be spoilers. I think the biggest strength of Til Death was the twist ending. It was really rewarding to see all of the pieces come together, and I also really liked that it strengthened the author's message and awareness for sickle cell. That being said, I found Lara to be a bit frustrating at times. Despite what's happening, the fact that people around her are literally being poisoned, and she continues to keep secrets and delays telling anybody about what's happening. Her naive detective instincts drive her curiosity. There's a thunderstorm going on outside. Her naive detective instincts drive her curiosity, but sometimes I found that her actions were quite reckless, and I got a bit annoyed at her despite generally really liking the character. Like, her uncle's advice about not playing the hero goes largely unheeded, which as the reader kind of tested my patience because I fully agreed with him. The large number of characters kind of posed a bit of a challenge for me because with the number of family members and bridesmaids and side characters, at times I struggled to remember who was connected to who, and I don't know, occasionally it slowed down my reading and made it hard to fully invest in. I do tend to prefer more isolated thrillers that have fewer characters because I feel like it adds to the intensity and the focus, but I do think that this book has its own charm in a broader social web that does add to the depth of the mystery. I also appreciated how the wedding provides this over-the-top glamorous setting that still adds a ton of tension, and it kind of provides this backdrop for a mystery that is still really lively and authentic. So in the end, while I didn't think that Til Death was the perfect thriller, I think that it was a solid book that had a great twist and had some really important representation. The book's strengths lie in a suspenseful mystery, cultural context, and a satisfying ending, even if the pacing and the large group of characters did slow it down for me. But let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy the book? Next week we're discussing the Atlas 6, so don't forget to get your thoughts and comments in by Sunday the 7th of September at the latest to be a part of the discussion. You can now do this on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Discord. The following week will be not in my book, but don't forget if you do need a little bit longer to read a book, we do now list the next 4 books down below, along with the discussion dates. That way you can choose the genre that best suits you, and the best time frame to read it in. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, it's always appreciated, and I'll see you next week. Bye! If you like romance, fantasy, or even thriller, basically anything fiction book related, then I suggest you head on over to the channel's intro video, where you can find out more information on how you can take part in this online book club. We announce books at least 4 weeks in advance, and we accept your bookish feedback in a wide manner of ways. Post your comment below a video, send in a voice note, or even send me a short video clip of you discussing the book. Alternatively, you can just send me a direct message.